it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to a foundation wear test. Today we are going to be trying out the new Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation. I picked this up at my local Ulta. I was really intrigued when I saw it pop up there. It's a new foundation from Milani. It seems like it's right up my alley right now, being a very natural finish, light to medium coverage, and it's supposed to help protect you against blue light from your phone and your computer. I'm not really sure if that's important at all with like your skin and stuff. I know it's important for your eyes and whatnot, but I don't know too much the science behind if it's actually legit a good thing to protect your skin against. That'll be Levi. But yeah, I figured, you know, can't hurt, and if it works as a foundation, that's great, and also protecting your skin and whatnot. But I'm just really curious to try out this new foundation that's available at the drugstore, so I wanted to sit down and do a first impressions video. I do already have it on my skin today. I feel like the lighting's a little off, maybe a little dark, I don't know. I went really heavy with my bronzer and contour because it is quite light. Like, this matches my face perfectly, but I try to match my neck because I'm a lot darker, my neck and my body, than my face is. So anyway, I went a little heavy, which is why I feel like I'm a little bit stripy, but I think it's just the lighting. Like, I looked out in the mirror in my bathroom and it looked fine. So anyway, yeah, I have it on my face today. I tried it with a brush and a sponge on one side, so you'll be able to get a close-up look at that. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right in. I'll have a link to this down below. I don't really go over any claims or the price or whatnot, but if you are curious, I always link the product that I'm testing down below, and you can click that link and learn all about it and whatnot. And I'll put both the link to Milani's website and then Ulta, where I bought it personally. But I'll try to link both of those down below for you, just in case one has more information than the other. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into demoing it and putting this on my face. Okay, so I got the shade 220 Natural Beige. I feel like this is going to be a little light, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to use on my right side a brush, and then left side will be a sponge. And so I'm going to be using my Smashbox Stipple brush just because it's my favorite. But since this is like a light to medium coverage, if I want more coverage, I'll grab my, what's it called, full coverage foundation brush, because this stipple brush tends to shear it out a bit, but it's just my preference. So I'll have both of these to go for the brush side. But anyway, let's just squirt some on the back of my hand and get going. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be too light, but we'll bronze it up. We'll make it work, hopefully. I've already primed and moisturized with the Smashbox Primerizer, and in the winter tends to be all I do in the way of primer, just because it really helps to moisturize my skin so that I don't get flakies and dry patches and whatnot. It just helps my foundation look nicer. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use the full coverage brush just because this is definitely shearing it out, which isn't a bad thing. Well, I'll do this half of my face with the stipple brush, and then I'll just kind of full coverage, probably just the cheeks, because this is the only spot I feel like when it's super light coverage, I feel like I have no coverage, and it's right here just because it tends to be a little redder there. Now, I did do one full pump, and this is now using up the entire pump just on one half of my face, so it either doesn't go very far or I'm using way too much. But wow, that kind of blends in and really kind of meshes and almost like disappears into your skin. I feel like definitely light coverage. Doesn't give you a whole lot in the way of coverage. Now, this foundation is also a little light for me, so it's matching my face instead of my neck. So maybe that's why it's even harder to tell a difference, because it just matches my face so well. Yeah, I really like how it's around my nose. Like, it looks super natural, not cakey. And it did cover the redness right there. I do like that. But it still lets my skin peek through. I'm going to put a little bit more just to see, because I feel like I need to wax my face. This is bothering me, all the little fuzzies. But anyway, I feel like down here it looks like I have nothing. So I just want to see if I do use a more dense brush, if I can get a better coverage. And yeah, that is nicer. I feel like with such a light coverage foundation, I don't recommend using a stipple brush because it just shears it out and takes it away, in my opinion. But yeah, that looks nice. I'll go ahead and do this little spot because I have a little old acne spot that's healing up. And let's just see, because I know the beauty blender is going to shear it out. So let me see if I can get some type of coverage, stippling over it with a dense brush. Yeah, that covered it a good bit. I mean, didn't make it disappear, but it gave some coverage, which I've been really into the lighter coverage foundations, and I'm really curious to see if this just feels nicer on the skin, because that's one thing I do like just on the day-to-day. When I don't care if my skin is peeking through, I like just to feel comfortable with my foundation. All right, so I'm gonna go a little more liberal initially on this side and then start pouncing it in. So there's the first initial application. I'm gonna put a little more here and then right here because I have some redness from some acne. And I definitely feel like I got more coverage on this side with the brush. This looks very sheared out. So let me do my forehead, and I'm probably gonna go over with the brush just on this area. Or I guess I could just leave it and see, but then I just feel like it's just gonna disappear. I'm not going anywhere today. It doesn't matter if I'm a little uneven. I already have it on that side. I don't know why I went all the way over. All right, just tapping over a little bit more with this. At this spot. It gives a little more coverage. Definitely a light coverage foundation, but I do like that it does build up a little bit and give you a nicer coverage without looking cakey. That is really nice. I'm gonna take whatever's left on the back of my hand. I think I've done at least 2.5, 3 pumps. And I'm going to just tap over this spot. Just to keep it even. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, very natural looking. This side that I did first is still a little tacky. I'm going to do my under eyes, conceal my under eyes, and then see if it sets itself a little bit more. But yeah, that was really easy to blend and mesh it into my foundation. So let me try on my Beauty Blender side. There we go. I'm not actually crazy about how it looks on the Beauty Blender side. I feel like it's looking a little, almost like the foundation's dried down and then I went back over with something damp and it's picking it back up or something. I'm gonna go in with a touch more, which I don't think, if it's a super light coverage foundation, tends to not work well with Beauty Blenders just because Beauty Blender shears it out. Anyway, I'm gonna go over with more and see if I can fix that because that looks funky. Yeah, it's looking worse. Okay, I'm just gonna go set it. I feel like maybe once this foundation starts to set, you really shouldn't be blending much on top of it because it's a touch on this side. It's mostly around my nose and then on this side. I can't remember if I took the Beauty Blender over my nose after, like when I was concealing it. Maybe that's why my nose is looking so weird, but we're just gonna keep going. I'll get up close afterwards so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But anyway, I'm just going to conceal under my eye, or set under my eyes, and now I'm going to take I'm going to do a really big type of brush and then just a very lightweight type of setting powder, translucent setting powder. Try not to get it all over my sleeping baby in my lap. Okay, so it's set because I set it very lightly with powder, but it doesn't feel like it's set. I just like itched my nose a little bit on this side and like it removed the foundation. So that's not looking too good. Let me go ahead and speed through the rest of my makeup, my face makeup, do my brows, and then I'll kind of close out this video, give you guys a close-up, but we'll give it some time to set before I give my first impression thoughts. But so far, I don't know. Okay, so there it is. I finished out the rest of my makeup here. It looks nice from afar. I'll go ahead and stick up close-up shots so you guys can see, and I'm trying to look up real close. I feel like when all was said and done, from afar it looks fine, but I have a nick in my nose from where I scratched it. So I just feel like this is just going to be a foundation that transfers all over the place. Maybe I just need to set it more heavily to really lock it in, so maybe this is my fault. So yeah, I don't know if that's just something I'm gonna have to continue playing around with and figure out what's the best way to put this on my face and whatnot and get it to stay there, but I don't have high expectations for this lasting very well throughout the day because I just feel like it's going to slide right off. And then also those areas where I felt like I told you before, it just looked kind of weird. It still looks weird, kind of like the foundation dried and then I was blending out my concealer afterwards and it was just moving it all around. So maybe this is just a very fast drying foundation that maybe it would be better to put my concealer on first and then blend the foundation over it. I don't know. I definitely know I'll be testing this. You guys know I'm going to test this a lot more times than this one time. I will have a review whenever I'm done testing it, kind of going in depth of all the pros and cons and if I liked it or not. But anyway, right now it is 9:30, but I finished doing my powders around, I would say 9:15. So that's what I'm going to call the check-in time. I will try to come back about halfway through the day and show you guys what it's looking like. Yeah, that's going to do it for this first impressions wear test. I don't really like to come down hard either way on my thoughts. I just kind of like to put it on camera, show you guys, and let you guys make your own decisions on what you think it looks like. From afar, it looks nice, but up close, I'm just not crazy about how it looks on my nose and on this side specifically. All the powders blended really nicely on top of it. I do like that. And then now my skin almost still has a little bit of a tack to it. Not much. It's definitely a lot better now that I've set it, but it has a little bit of a tack. So we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like throughout the day. But okay, so I'm just going to cut it in right here. This is the end of the day. I am going to go ahead and do a wrap up at the end of the day here because I am able to, and I have some thoughts, so I just figured I would share them instead of putting it in a text over the video and whatnot. But as you're going to see from the close-ups, oh, let me tell you first, the time is 6:28, so it's been, I think, a little over 8-hour wear test, but I'm going to go ahead and stick up the close-ups as I look at my face. I like it everywhere except my mouth and my nose. I feel like it looks really bad, and I really hope that the video footage that I just took and recorded accurately shows it, but not only has it kind of come off the tip of my nose just from rubbing my nose, it has this like speckled look on my chin, above my lip, and then all around my nose. It's settled into my smile line right there, which I find interesting because on my forehead, I really don't see it settling very much into the lines of my forehead, like minorly. Just a tiny bit is it settling into the lines around on my forehead, but I feel like it really settled into that line. It just looks splotchy, which I don't really know why, except that I think it's just mixing with my oils maybe, because it's right around my nose where I get the oiliest, above my lip, on my chin. My cheeks I feel like still look really nice. Anyway, yeah, that is kind of like my final thoughts. I'm just not crazy about how it looks around my mouth, so that's something I'm definitely going to continue testing over this next month, and hopefully by the end of March I'll have a thorough review for you guys, because yeah, I'm not digging how that looks. Close up I feel like it looks terrible, but even far away my upper lip just looks spotty is the best way I can describe it, or splotchy. It's like separating and just looking very splotchy. And then my nose, I don't know, I feel like your nose is always the worst aspect of your face makeup by the end of the day, just because you're constantly touching it, and it's just, I don't know. For me personally, that's always the worst spot. So I just feel like even from far away in my far away mirror, my upper lip and my nose look terrible, and even my chin a little bit. I'm not crazy about it. I should see if it transfers. I don't feel like it's coming off. But if I ever have a scratch, like I just scratched the side of my face a little bit, I was very careful to kind of leave my face alone today. But if I scratch at it, it definitely removes right off. But just light touching, not so much. So I'll continue testing and let you guys know. I'm not going to have a kind of wear test down at the bottom. Like I'm not going to pin a comment with the wear test, like final wear test, just because after this I'm going to be going and taking my makeup off. It's been about 8 hours. I'm ready to just kind of take all this off and wind down for the night. But this is kind of your wrap up final wear test, letting you guys know what I think about it. And I don't really like to give reviews and give recommendations, but the jury's still out for me personally. Like if this was the first time I was using it, not on camera, I'd be like, okay, let me try some different primers, let me try some different techniques, maybe more full coverage brush, and maybe trying to make sure I work a little faster, maybe do my concealer underneath. I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with it and see, but yeah, that is kind of my first impressions and first initial wear test of the Milani Screen Queen foundation. So I look forward to continue testing it, but I hope that was in some ways slightly helpful for you guys just to be able to see it applied and see how it wore for me throughout the day. But anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.